Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to the Mila and Oscar Talk, the place where we turn your English learning struggles into your greatest strengths. I'm Mila, your resident English coach, broadcasting from my studio. Today, I'm looking at a beautiful watercolor painting I just finished of my cat, Jasper. He's currently sleeping on my keyboard, which is his way of telling me to focus on you guys.
And I'm Oscar. Hi, Mila. Hi, everyone. I'm joining from my porch in my quiet little town. Buster, my golden retriever, is currently chasing his own tail in the grass. It's a peaceful day, but inside my head, it's a different story. It feels like a crowded train station in there, Mila. Everyone is shouting in my native language, and there's one tiny person in the corner trying to whisper in English.
That is the most relatable thing I've ever heard, Oscar. That tiny whisper is what we're going to turn into a confident shout today. Listeners, have you ever been in a conversation where you knew exactly what you wanted to say, but by the time your brain translated it from your language to English, the other person had already walked away?
Oh, that's me. That's 100% me. I call it the buffering brain, like a slow YouTube video. I'm just stuck at 10% while the world keeps moving. It's embarrassing, and honestly, it makes me want to just stay silent.
Well, today we are deleting the buffer button. We aren't just talking about tips. This is a masterclass in neuro-linguistic habit building. We are going to teach you how to physically and mentally rewire your brain so that English becomes your first thought, not your second guess. We're going to look at the grocery store attack method, the AI stress test, and the secret of lexical chunks.
20 minutes of brain training. I've got my coffee, my notebook, and Buster has finally stopped spinning. I am ready to become an English thinking machine.
Let's start with the biology. Oscar, when I say the word apple, what happens in your head?
I see the word in my language, then I think A-P-P-L-E, then I see a red fruit.
See, that's 3 steps. That's 2 steps too many. A native speaker goes from the image of the fruit directly to the sound apple. We call this the direct path. To train this, you have to hijack your visual cortex.
How do I hijack my own brain? That sounds like a movie.
It's simpler than that. It's called active mental labeling. Most people suggest putting sticky notes on things. I say burn the sticky notes. Your brain gets used to them and starts to ignore them. Instead, I want you to perform a 30-second room attack every time you enter a new space.
An attack? Tell me more.
Walk into your kitchen, set a timer for 30 seconds. Look at every object and say, object, attribute, action. Don't just say kettle, say silver kettle, boiling water. Don't just say bread, say toasted bread, smells good.
Wait, let me try right now with my porch. Wooden floor, feels warm. Green grass, Buster is sniffing. Blue sky, clouds are moving.
Exactly. You're not just naming things, you're connecting the visual to the language and the sensation.
I noticed something, Mila. When I said Buster is sniffing, I didn't have time to think of my native language. I had to move too fast.
Precisely. Speed is the enemy of translation. If you force your brain to label things at a high speed, it doesn't have the processing time to go back to your native language. Do this at the grocery store. Look at the aisles. Cold milk, fresh eggs, heavy bags. By the time you get to the cashier, your English engine is already warmed up.
Okay, so I can name things, I can attack the grocery store, but Mila, what about when I'm alone with my thoughts? My brain is always talking to me. How do I make it talk in English?
This is the continuous monologue. Most students try to think in big, complex sentences. That's a mistake. You need to start with logic gates.
Logic gates, like a computer.
Yes, computers use if, then, or because, therefore. These are the glue of thinking. Instead of just narrating your actions, I want you to narrate your reasons.
Give me an example. I'm hungry.
Okay, don't just think, I am hungry. Think, I am hungry because I didn't have breakfast. Therefore, I should make a sandwich. However, I am out of ham, so I will use cheese instead.
I am hungry because, therefore, however, so, Oh, I see. Using those words forces my brain to build a bridge. It's like I'm building a train track, and the words are the cars that follow.
Exactly. It's a system of logic. If you only think in nouns and verbs, your English will always feel broken. But if you master the logic connectors, your brain starts to anticipate the next thought.
What if I'm in a real-life situation, like I'm driving and I'm lost?
Perfect scenario. Talk to yourself out loud. I missed the turn because I was looking at that dog. Now I need to find a place to turn around. If I go straight, I might get more lost, so I'll turn left here. This turns a stressful moment into a training session. You're practicing executive function in English.
Mila, I have to be honest. Sometimes even if I think in English, I feel like my English voice sounds boring. I use the same 5 words over and over. Good, bad, happy, sad. It's like I'm a robot.
That's because you are using your passive vocabulary. To make your thinking voice more colorful, we use auditory priming.
Is that like listening to music?
Not exactly. It's more intense. It's called shadowing and reskinning.
I've heard of shadowing, repeating after a speaker, but what is reskinning?
This is a technique I use with my advanced art students. They take a famous painting and change the colors. In English, you listen to a sentence, repeat it, and then immediately change one detail.
Let's try it. You say a sentence.
I love painting cats because they have such expressive eyes.
I love painting cats because they have such expressive eyes. Now I reskin it. I love walking dogs because they have such energetic tails.
Perfect. Now do it again. Change the reason. I love walking dogs despite the fact that it's raining today. See what you did? You took a grammar structure, I love, doing, thing, because, despite, and you made it your own. You didn't have to think about gerunds or conjunctions. You just used the skin of my sentence to express your life.
This feels like I'm stealing your English and making it mine.
Exactly. That is exactly how children learn. They don't study grammar books, they steal phrases from their parents and reskin them. Do this with this podcast. Every time I say something you like, pause the audio, repeat it, and then reskin it to fit your day in the small town.
Okay, but Mila, we have to talk about the wall. I'm in a conversation, I'm shadowing, I'm reskinning, and then bam, I forget a word. The word for, pliers. I'm trying to fix my bike and I don't know the word pliers. My brain stops. I feel like a failure.
Oscar, this is where most learners die a silent death. They hit a missing word and they stop talking. But a thinker never stops. They use circumlocution.
That's a very long word, Mila. Does it mean talking in circles?
Yes, it's the art of describing a word you don't know. It's a survival skill. If you can't find the bridge, you build a raft.
So if I don't know pliers, what do I do?
You describe the function, the shape, and the material. Function, it's a tool for pulling things. Shape, it's shaped like a V or a pair of scissors. Material, it's made of metal with rubber handles.
I need the metal tool that looks like scissors, but it's for pulling wires.
Boom! You just solved the problem. You didn't switch to your native language. You didn't stop thinking in English. You muddled through.
To muddle through. I like that. It sounds like I'm a brave explorer in a jungle.
You are. To practice this, we play the definition game. Oscar, look at something on your porch. Don't tell me what it is. Describe it using only simple English until I guess what it is.
Okay, it is a small house. It is made of wood. It is high up in a tree. It is for animals that have wings and sing in the morning.
A birdhouse.
Yes, I didn't use the word birdhouse, but I was thinking in English the whole time.
That is the secret to fluency, Oscar. Fluency isn't knowing 50,000 words. Fluency is being able to explain 50,000 ideas using only 500 words.
Mila, I'm feeling brave. I want to try these logic gates and circumlocution in a real conversation, but I'm scared to talk to real people yet. I don't want to look stupid.
That is where your phone becomes your best friend. I want you to use an AI like Gemini as a cognitive flight simulator.
A flight simulator for English?
Yes, pilots don't just jump into a plane. They use a simulator to practice crashes. You should do the same. Give the AI a high-stress prompt.
Like what?
Say this to the AI. I am a customer who was very angry because my pizza arrived cold and it has pineapple on it, which I hate. You are the manager. I want a refund and a free cake. Let's argue.
Oh man, that is a nightmare.
But look at what happens to your brain. You have to think fast. You have to be persuasive. You have to use connectors. You are stress testing your English brain. If you can handle an AI yelling at you about a pineapple pizza, you can handle a real-life conversation at a cafe.
And the AI won't judge me if I say I is angry.
Exactly. It would just keep talking. After the argument, ask the AI, can you show me 3 professional ways I could have said that better? Now you're learning context. You're not just learning English, you're learning angry customer English or polite manager English.
I've noticed that when I talk to you, Mila, you don't seem to think about every word. It's like you have blocks of language.
You caught me. I'm using lexical chunks. This is the final step in training your brain. Stop thinking in words, start thinking in phrases.
Like, how are you?
Yes, but deeper. Native speakers have thousands of these. At the end of the day, I was just about to say, to be perfectly honest with you, it's not the end of the world.
Why is this better?
Because your brain only has to load 1 piece of information instead of 6. If you think at the end of the day as 1 single chunk, you save 80% of your brain power.
It's like buying a pre-made pizza crust instead of making the dough from scratch every time.
I knew you'd bring it back to pizza. Yes, if you have the crust, the chunk, you only have to worry about the toppings, the specific information.
How do I find these chunks?
Listen to this podcast. Every time you hear me say a phrase that sounds natural, write it down. Don't translate it, just write, use this when I want to be honest. Then use it in your internal monologue.
Mila, we've been talking for a long time. My brain feels like a sponge that is completely full. How do I make sure I don't forget all of this tomorrow?
You need the nightly audit. Before you go to sleep while you're lying in the dark, I want you to do a rewind.
Like a movie?
Exactly. Think of one conversation you had today where you felt slow or where you switched back to your native language. Now replay that scene in your head, but in English.
So I imagine myself being the English version of me.
Yes. Imagine yourself using the logic gates. Imagine yourself using a lexical chunk. This is called neurovisualization. You are literally carving the path in your brain so that tomorrow that path is easier to walk on.
And what if I still fail tomorrow?
Then you use the most important word in the English language, yet.
Yet?
Don't say, I can't think in English. Say, I can't think in English yet. That one tiny word changes your brain from a closed door to an open road. It gives your brain permission to keep growing.
Mila, this has been... wow. I feel like I came here with a bicycle brain and I'm leaving with a rocket ship. I realized that the reason I wasn't thinking in English wasn't because I was bad at it. It was because I didn't have the system.
Exactly, Oscar. It's about the system, not the talent. You've got the attack method for your eyes, the logic gates for your thoughts, shadowing for your ears, and AI for your courage.
And I've got my pizza and Buster for support.
The perfect team. To our listeners, you have been so patient today. This was a long journey, but your brain is already different than it was 20 minutes ago. You are now English thinkers in training.
We want to see your attack method in action. Here is your homework. Walk into your bathroom or your office, set a timer for 30 seconds. Do the object attribute action scan. Write down 3 things you saw in the comments below.
For example, silver faucet, running water. White towel, soft feeling. Small mirror, reflecting my face. We will read every single one. And please, if this masterclass helped you, subscribe to the Easy English Talk podcast. Share it with your friends, your family, or even your dog. Let's build a world of English thinkers.
Thank you for joining us. Keep your eyes open, keep your monologue running, and never stop muddling through.
See you in the next episode. I'm going to go describe this apple to Buster now. Red apple, crunchy sound, Buster wants a bite.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.